with regard to the gleaning opportunities, particularly during the May, June, July, and August, and even into September. There have been some growers out in the western part of my district in the Shenandoah Valley that have opened up their orchards near the end of the season and allow people to come in. The last issue is this: the corporations. If you had the schools doing what they do one time a year, if every school once, just once, particularly from January through the end of the school year, if every school had a food drive, every single one in this congressional district, every one, and if the food banks, who are so busy doing the Lord's work and giving the food out, had the churches to come alongside and say, we'll call every school in our district. We'll call Rinky Dinky Day School. We'll call this school. We'll call that school. And we will say that when this school that serves this region will give to this food bank, to this church, to this group, to tie that. Because in fairness, and I see that Bonnie's going to speak, they do not have the resources to do that. Secondly, maybe the county could take the lead. If the county could have someone, and I appreciate what Governor McDonald's done with regard to the law firms. He had a challenge, every law firm. Well, if every company who has a Loudoun County address, every company who has a Loudoun County address, from an Allstate or State Farm Insurance Bureau with 5 or 6 people to a Harris Corporation, which I just left just before this, to ask, would you do one food drive a year, particularly beginning somewhat in May or June, carrying through the summer when the schools are gone and there's not that opportunity. So then, yeah, the schools doing it January through May, the corporations with Kurt, people like that doing it from May through the summer, and then the churches that have provided that opportunity have really have put that umbrella, literally. And I know there's a role for government, and I'm all for that. But I think for the churches, for that to be the moral force. But if every school had a food drive, if every company had a food drive, if every law firm had a food drive, if every trade association had a food drive, and with all the good work that the schools, that the churches are now doing, literally, we could literally solve, in addition to the great help that comes from the government, you could solve where this would not only be the #1 economic county, as Scott said, in the nation, but it would be the county with the biggest heart, if you will. And then once that happens, there are ways, even in Dayton, Ohio, what Congressman Hall done, they've even taken it to a next step, which I'm not sure would be great this time, whereby they actually have freezer trucks, 1 or 2 freezer trucks, that literally go out and have the cooperation of all the restaurants, whereby at, say, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night, the restaurants give to them, and they pick up freezer trucks and take it to the food bank. But if all the corporations gave, all the schools to the food drive, working with the churches, literally, you could say that the problem of hunger, the problem of people going without, had pretty much been eliminated and taken care of in Loudoun County. Again, thanks for being here, and thanks, Scott, for taking the leadership on it.